The breakfast show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. Continue for send you message on 074 500 245. Well, that's now Mohammed Kamara. We've been put together the reports there, but waiting come out now the updates where the Ministry of Justice through the Ministry of Information and Civic Education been go give to journalists and concerning the different treason trial and court-martial case them where they carry on now.
The time from the studio clock na 8:16 and you still watch the breakfast show na Liberty Online TV. And we tell you now say today na this edition of the breakfast show where they can look at the 2022 audit report within now na Parliament. And at this time na a pleasure for getting to the studio and welcome the National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network BAN, Wena Abubakar Kamara. Good morning and welcome to the breakfast show.
Happy New Year and good morning to all and good morning to civilians too.
Well, BAN, when a Budget Advocacy Network, na a network of civil society organization them, we done the work na salon for a very long time now, since 2006 to now. Also, then the work around issues them we get for do with budget and budget policies them. Also, then the work for ensure say people implement them budget policies there so that sustainable development go in at the country. And from time to time we be done to get Budget Advocacy Network for talk about issues them we get for do with budget, and we all know say the audit reports we can come out now. Also the Auditor General in office can look at the whole year in review, waiting government, ministry, departments and agencies them do with money we come out from the consolidated fund. Also they can put other reports they waiting them fenot. And the one for the year 2022 we do under review, then we don't go learn a Parliament inside December last year where we expect say the parliamentarians them go look inside the thing them where the Auditor General in office been fenot. Well, while that they go on, the people can go around again and discuss on issues them we come out. So we make today we get BAN at the studio for can talk about waiting the inside the 2022 audit reports. And like I don't tell we viewers them, BAN are one of the civil society organizations them we don't work closely we come to issues them we get for do with budget. And these audit reports they look at them money then they when we can just call budget. Firstly, let we know where you say in December the 2022 budgets reports being come out and the audit service being carried on a Parliament. Also, we all know say what common I do say over 300 billion olions people are now being able to account for them from different ministry departments and agencies them. Being that when I don't follow this particular audit report, it been come to again as a surprise say still like a huge amounts of money a day where people not able to account for.
No, so we in not be come for a couple of reasons, because when they talk about audit accountability at the last stage of the budget process, and for there you get proper accountability, you go for able for all players within the governance sector for play a role. And we don't see over the years, for example, one of the critical institutions we're responsible for whole people that are accountable on the Auditor General's report when at Parliament. We don't see for the past 3 audit report then they never produce a report on the Auditor General's reports. In as much as from the executive end, did they make strive for ensure say the recommendations are implemented, but as of up to now, we don't really say around public resources is still a challenge, from the revenue aspect to expenditure aspect to issues around procurement to issues around even recruitment process system. So for we believe say for there we will get a proper audit accountability. All players need for playing role, and mind you, the Auditor General their responsibility stop at tabling the report at Parliament. The executive gets a role for play, Parliament gets a role for play, even we as civil society and media also get a role for play. And we at this stage we really call on the government, Parliament for really take audit accountability issues very seriously, because you know, apart from the one way normally we hype on the loss in cash, we also go very important, but there are numbers of service delivery issues them way down the report we really they affect the ordinary citizens, they do not address them. And we don't see over the years, the issues they continue to come up, and actions to address these issues them is slow. Not actually not be taken, but it's very slow. So we want to see from all angles, and we want to see an audit accountability from a 20, so that one, we will reduce the loss in cash. Two, service delivery issues then we don't report them will be addressed, and above all, the aspect of holding people accountable, the one they way responsible. If them here know they happen, the citizens will continue to lose services. Resources will for be used to finance the health or when all of this happen, the one that will mostly affected are the ordinary citizens. And we as Budget Advocates Network, we're a network of 7 organizations, one of the key principles is transparency, accountability, and participation. And we'll do all of this for ensure say the citizens then really benefit from the state resources. Mind you, the one that will mainly rely on government services are the ordinary citizens. Because they reach them, if they're sick, they can go to private hospital or fly out of the country. If they are good school, they can go to private schools. But the ordinary citizens, they rely on state resources. So therefore, the resources the government they provide, the one that we're responsible, supposed for use them the right way and how does for after by how the law say. And mind you, audit is a matter of check. You follow the law, you do what you're supposed to do, and beyond that, they also look at the services they would have only for play. And we don't see examples of services them where the general report don't highlight. Nothing happening out of them. I can give you an example. You know, the government we see the vision say the need for invest in onion production. And then pilots are now some districts then. And the report clearly shows say where they don't dispose over 90% of the money, majority of the work will not be done. And other than the people who will be really supposed to benefit. Now be the cities in the community. Now don't for them get work day. Now don't for them get the market for market the onion. So it's not just about the loss in cash, but also about the services them where the report identify and how government position itself for take actions for ensure say then number one, then thing I know repeat again, and number two, the one that we are accountable, the one that we are responsible, that we held accountable as per what the laws of the country say.
Before we can look inside some of the things them where the 2022 audit report point at, let we look at something we don't feel like pattern now, especially from the Public Accounts Committee in a Parliament. Whenever the audit report come up, then go in a Parliament, the Deputy Speaker, when are the chair of the Public Accounts Committee, can make and clear say nobody know for touch this report until the PAC don't look inside this report, scrutinize them, and bring out some of the issues them. But nobody, the citizen, they not can even they hear anything where the PAC they talk about this report or even put out a report for sure say we don't look inside the audit reports and this commodity and this go be with recommendation to authority like the Anti-Corruption Commission. What really they happen with the PAC? You think say they get anything for hide or then get anybody for protect?
For the past few years, 2 to 3 years, the PAC don't fail the people of Sierra Leone on the audit accountability issues, because as one of the mandates, they're supposed for look at the report and produce a report on the report. 2 to 3 years, there is no report on the auditor general's report. And for this one, I'm glad I see they don't begin to make some efforts, because as today we see the notice where audit service post on the website that they start the hearings today, and we as a network will deploy up to 3 staff for follow up and monitor the process. But that are just one stage for letting conduct the hearing. But for letting also produce a report on that hearing today, now a whole other process. And the PAC also need for up the games, because the reports, some of the things that they highlight, for example, a lack of adequate supporting documents, and we don't see over the years documents where the general don't go down spend 4, 5, 6 months and they will get. Once they go to Parliament, they appear in the Parliament, and we also a call for concerns. So for we don't know so they are much often not been placed, but we're not happy that they don't decide say they look at this report promptly and we want to say that is the right direction, because now then suppose for all people them accountable and recommend actions on the one who are responsible for either the loss of state resources or for either the aspect of when citizens need to receive their services them. So we go monitor that process there, and for ensure say number one, the process is being done in a transparent and accountable manner. And of course, it's an open process, for which I want to say kudos to them. It's going to be an open process. But then number two, it's about also then again producing an actionable recommendations, and where we go expect either the executive or the judiciary or whatever for also take actions on those recommendations. Because at the end, once this pattern is still continuing, that public officials then were responsible by their action or inaction then cause the state of lost resources. If no action not be taken, absolutely over the next coming years, it's simply going to continue to happen. And again, in fact, even when in the past, when even they look at the reports, we continue to see the same thing they continue to happen. So Namka, they emphasize the fact of the matter is there should be 360 accountability on the aspect of safeguarding the public resources.
So where Parliament not only agree for look inside this report or counsel the public and tell them back the reason why for the past 3 years they not look at the audit report and pull what they do as to waiting at the decision when they come on at Parliament, how it affects the issues around accountability with public funds?
It means say the one who are responsible they go scot-free. And we're an insult to the citizens, because the reason why government exists and provide services to the citizens, and government appoints people for support that process there, and the people where government appoints for letting support that process there, then go for work in accordance to what the laws of the country say. And if they need to work according to that, they should be held accountable. But because Parliament nobody look at the report, it creates a whole cut off in the accountability landscape of the whole audit process. So for we, it affects it greatly, because now then get a mandate as per the constitution for looking to the report. In fact, you don't see over the years where Parliament they look at them, Anti-Corruption Commission, then they prompt the look at them, and for which I want to commend the ACC for them prompt action in looking to the audit issues, and we want for encourage and let them continue that particular process, because as long as they find out say there are issues in the report that have to do with corruption, to me I not feel say they need for wait until Parliament look at the report, because we might not know, number one, how long the hearing they take, number two, what go for commot, and then number three, there's a whole issues around there's a whole difference between issues then where they look at issues on corruption and what are not corruption. Anti-Corruption Commission then can normally go into issues them who get related corruption related items there.
All right, continue for the week in the program. Abubakar Kamara, in the National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network, a civil society organization we make up of different civil society organizations them where they look inside issues that we get for do with budget, and also today in the program where they talk about the thing that we come out inside the 2022 audit report. In case you just tune in, make sure say you be part of the conversation this morning. Send me a message in the comment section of any of the platform them we they use for watch we this morning. We they continue with the breakfast show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, now Facebook, YouTube, and also now a website where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Today na the program where they look at the 2022 audit report, waiting at some of the issues then we come out inside the, and according to the Auditor General's reports, then saying about 300 billion loans been lost from different ministry, departments, and agency them as of the term when the auditor them be going, and then different ministry, departments, and agency they not be able to get proper receipts and other documentation them where then go use as supporting documents as to how they spend copper where government can get there as budget where they come out from the consolidated fund. Well, now the studio we still get Abubakar Kamara, when the National Coordinator for Budget Budget Advocacy Network, we are a network of civil society organization them. We don't work in the country for ensure say them promote issues of accountability, transparency, and public financial management. We'll be done listening to Abubakar Kamara. We come back now studio as we welcome with other studio guests. We are a colleague journalist and also a social commentator where they talk on various issues them we get for those governance, accountability, corruption, and plenty other one them. Good morning, Dixon, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, thank you very much.
All right. You now been one party journalist them from where the Auditor General reports come on with and go table on a Parliament. You don't they take people through your various social media handles them. You they highlight several issues them and money them where the Auditor General been say different ministry, department, and agency them not be able for account for by way how they not be able for provide supporting documents. They term them with the auditor. Then go at them various ministry there so for do the audits. Firstly, let we look at other years back the issues of missing funds from ministry, departments, and agency them. Not to today it begin, not a new thing. How serious as a country, especially the Public Accounts Committee in our Parliament, working they in charge of this particular audit report where they can go table before any other agency begin for look at them. How serious them be for handle some of the issues they are away with the year in year out say money loss?
Thank you very much. I think say first of all we can't see the limelight at around 2015. Now we begin to see much more interest from the public in audit report, and audit report here in here out to highlight issues, or not just money but issues where government define difficult. And there are several types of audit where the Auditor General can do. They can do performance audit. That's on government agency for see how they function and for see them lapses. And also they can make several recommendations. These recommendations, people learn for follow them and implement them. Before the last Parliament, before the fifth Parliament, the Parliament before that, they look at audit reports. The Parliamentary Accountability Committee, they look at the audit report, they will be the can. But since the inception of the fifth Parliament, that is the last Parliament, they no ever, the Parliamentary Account Committee no ever look at audit report we don't they can. We don't see a situation where in ACC they come out and pull statements on several issues that we get for do with Auditor General. Sometimes clear, then they clear the people we making say that it's a form of a whitewash, because there's a process. It is the Public Accounts Committee. Now they look at them, they forget public hearing, people and for cow defense, then defense documentary evidence for proof say this amount where they allege shadings they don't take or no they don't missing. This amount was rightly spent. And we get one thing the way politicians say over the years can they try for use with regards audit reports. Oh, now opinion. Make you always say it is not a mere opinion. It's an expert opinion. The auditors are experts. Then they give their opinion on issues that will happen. And they not just give their opinion, they give their opinion based on evidence. The evidence at the time of audit. Now based on that, and they give their opinion on. So it left to you now for go prove yourself na Parliament, or you prove yourself na the Anti-Corruption Commission. But as a nation, if you find out the recommendations where the Auditor General they put out, almost every year now the same recommendation. It seems as if we know they take those recommendations seriously for try for close the gaps and for we know they get this huge amount of money where they say missing. For instance, the 2022 audit they talk say over 300 billion euros missing, when over 300 million new loans. And he also did, that is just the loans. There are about over $3 million we separately also will not able to account for them. There are several issues where the Auditor General highlight on. And one important issue where me find out now the Ministry of Health, because it get for do with we health. You look at government hospital and take 6 government hospital. The main referral hospital, Connaught Hospital. Then take them for example. Then find out say in Connaught Hospital we get huge stockpile of medicine that would expire. They take the main children hospital in the country, when all are doing children hospital. They assess them. They find out, say, the main, they get huge stockpile of expired drugs, and then they not get proper storage facilities. Then take satellite hospital na Kiyama Road, the same thing. Then take satellite hospital na Rukupu na the eastern part of Freetown, the same thing. So you ask yourself, the things that will matter, these are the things will matter, and not just saying as storage facility. You remember, say, President Min go around and shape ambulances. It go be surprising for you for note, say, Connaught Hospital not get one functional ambulance, according to the audit report. These are serious issues where, as a nation, for deal with. Cottage only get one where they don't transform to utility vehicle and not ambulance anymore. So you see, these are things that we actually, now them, apart from the monetary side, where they know people they don't peel fat, or they are cheap people they don't peel fat, because at any point they will go to Parliament and go defend. But these issues we get for do with the condition. I listen to somebody where they talk, say, carry picking go na Connaught and broke. For let's see doctor na problem. So there are a whole lot of issues, and we also get one TO. They say this government, they say they don't employ more nurses, particularly when you raise the issue of wage bill. I know not all the people the way president no appoint, they create the wage bill. This audit report expose, say, we not get more nurses. In fact, the audit, they say there are 10,000 patients to 2 health workers. And the audit, they say there are a huge number of nurses where they name not in a PIN code. So how they employ all the nurses there? Where we talk about wage bill and they say, no, now the teacher them, now the police officer them, now the nurse they would employ. So this particular report exposes some of the lies where the politicians, they say, particularly when it comes to do with the livelihood of the people.
Some of them figures there, so we just talk about the audit for do with the over 300 billion loans where the audit report say missing, and safe you look at the referral hospitals, and the major one they will get for do with the Olajurian Children's Hospital, the Connaught Hospital, the Okupa Hospital, the nakedness of the hospital there. So amidst all the launching they hold on, they see the president they go make on different medical equipment they were supposed for the hospital them, and now the audit report don't expose all of them things that our president's bill don't they go different tendencies, they go launch equipment them, they go give different things then to the hospital there. But the way how the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, don't they handle issues of the audit report, according to waiting Abubakar talk earlier, for he say the PAC don't disappoint the people of Sierra Leone, because if they vote on for go represent the people them now for champion issues they like this. From your perspective, how you can assess the PAC for the past 5 years, how did they handle the issue there?
I will using words that the PAC has been a disappointment to the people of Sierra Leone, the last parliament. There has never been, I can remember, people like Honorable Kande Yunkela raise the issue at the well for let them debate the audit report them. They're not one. People like Abdul Kagbo raise the issue of the last parliament for let them raise them, for let them debate them. They're not one. At least if they debate them, and parliament not the only debate audit report, then they create a platform wherein the other side, because the audit report don't assert, it don't make assertion, they don't give opinion on several things. So parliament they create an opportunity for the other side for Leukaya read their own perspective on the issue. So Mango Cow document we don't day before this 5th parliament. The 4th parliament chaired by the PAC was chaired then by Honorable Cherno Majuba. We still say people, even the Ebola audit report, we still say people and got piles of documents in parliament. So man go defend himself, say, look, I was given this contract, I implemented the contract, blah 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 blah. But this last parliament, they not be even fear to the people the way they mentioned at the audit report. They not be even fear to them, and then disappoint the people of this country for failing to discuss a report. All audit reports at the wall, they're all subject to parliamentary scrutiny.
But could this be a deliberate act by the parliamentarians for hide them people away from being accountable to the public?
I could say the last parliament was deliberate. The last parliament was deliberate because you get several members of parliament, Honorable Tawa Conte of even the ruling party, ask that they look at some of these reports, but the leadership of parliament not do harm.
Like protective tactics again?
Yeah, well, I think they have people they wanted to protect. And I hope say this particular audit report, this new parliament, the 6th parliament, will able to look into their audit report, this particular audit report, and create a situation. I don't see in a newspaper issues where the audit report mentioned, like the issue of net page, where the audit report say then for pay royalty. The financial secretary say in not the part of the agreement where they sign with net page for let them pay royalty. That is a good opportunity. Parliament is a good platform for let the financial secretary and net page then go present the fact. I don't see recently today what they can see a lot of newspaper they pull the side of Gento where the audit report say Gento group of companies then they pay them twice for the work we done. Then they pull a lot of reports say no, that is not the case. He was not paid twice. He was paid for this. He was paid for that. The Parliamentary Account Committee now a good platform for let Gento go present in documentary evidence then look at them and they say look, yes, the auditor make a genuine mistake. We don't so say auditor general them before. Now I make in the Parliamentary Account Committee the deputy auditor general always they sit on there.
This particular
because
parliament,
yes,
we talk about Dixon. I don't mean for interrupt you. For when you don't highlight and other emerging issues of corruption, now this particular parliament in a report, also then do sitting sometimes last week, we see also a member of parliament team up and talk and say this the your own particular parliament now rubber stamp parliament. How serious the members of parliament then they do?
It's sad for them we get a rubber stamp parliament. A very, very sad. Because parliamentary democracy now don't progress. Parliamentary democracy now actually they hold the executive responsible, accountable to the people. In cases like this, the parliament could go and say, let us look at this issue. This is an issue bordering on the people, the welfare of the people. Let us look at it. Even the people the way they name them, they don't mention. Let's bring them. Can they explain to this committee and let's put out to findings. But for a member of parliament, I think that particular member of parliament not deserve to be a member of parliament. Because the reason for the parliamentarian it's simple. Now because we all go in a parliament. Now I make them say, let we choose a representative who will represent we. So you are representing the people. And as a member of parliament, despite the party they support, we don't see at the West develop democracy. We are members of their own party. They put pressure on them party for be accountable. Despite the party they support, I think we don't hear in parliament of late issues of employment, recruitment, corruption in parliament, where I think is a serious issue. I watch a video wherein the president they say they intervene, which I think is it's contrary to the laws. You don't intervene. SEC is investigating. For the president to tell the SLPP members of parliament, like, I'm going to intervene, and you see them, the SLPP members of parliament, and they shout, say, yes, yes, now this, now we want to clack back. We want to clack back. I think it's wrong. They should allow the process. I made for understand, say, SEC don't go do an head count at parliament last week. And then don't find out more issues that most of the workers in a parliament are people are bringing them come. They not actually apply. So let us allow the process. I think whoever advised the president for making that statement say I'm busy now, they can't intervene and they can't watch at the issue between the clerk. Yes, the issue of the clerk. I don't think say that this weekend, maybe that this weekend he want to talk about them. And I think say at this, if the president here himself about this issue, I think a president where they fight corruption, the first way they say now for let you they advise the clerk for resign.
All right, Dixon, then it will be another topic. We'll bring you back for look at. Let's not deviate from the 2022 audit report. So they look at this morning. Viewers, in case you just tune in, the program, the breakfast show this morning, where they look at the alleged missing billions of loans where the Auditor General say been lost from different ministry, departments and agency them. They part of the conversation, share the program so that other person go able for no proper one, but waiting come out inside the 2022 audit report.
We come over to the other studio guest. We are the National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network ban. Abubakar Kamara, I done the comments earlier about waiting ban think but the losses first way now that we've been start for talk but we come out the 2022 audit report. But like we all know, the issue of service delivery in a one way Budget Advocacy Network really keen on when it comes audit reports and we can come out. We don't see any improvements today towards the ministry departments and agencies then based on waiting come out inside the audit report. Service delivery improvements, don't they?
You know, one thing first way I want to say, I want to commend audit service for way they really pay more emphasis now on service delivery issues then. If we take the health and education aspect, based on the past audit report, they find out say we are not making progress. The health sector is going in a different trajectory. Dixon mentioned we got a whole lot of expired drugs that they are waste of the people's resources. But again, what type of drug distribution would they do? Because we get the pull system, we get the push system, and we are now just a matter of push. We didn't get dengue. So a lot of resources they wasted there. Apart from that, basic equipment them, who for day at the hospital, who the ordinary man, if you get any sick or any word of thing, they will use them for address them. They are lacking in most of the hospitals and what audit service look at. Staff issues now critical concern. For example, Kono, there are 84 based on audit reports, 84 qualified and experienced staff who work for 3 years without approval. And not that, within that 3 years, based on what the report say, do not even get stipend. So this brings us again to the issue around wage bill and the Auditor General's report. So this don't tell we say, for we as a network, we comprise of 7 nations, our focus, if government they increase wage bill, should be the social service sector, health, education, not the other one then we are in that the other one way, even the employment them, the roles and responsibility can be subsumed by other departments, ministry and agencies.
However, from the revelation there, so from the audit report, where they talk about nurses them within hospitals and other service provider them without stipend. But don't the government, don't they come out to the media where they talk about bloated wage bill, then say they don't enroll new nurses them into the wage bill where they give PIN code. So if we don't they see, for example, Parliament, they struggle with issues of ghost workers. It's safe for say some of them think their way government they say to the people them when they say they don't give PIN code to nurses, teachers, they know they exist now ghost workman there.
You know, me they look at the facts before me right now when are the Auditor General report where they use as a reference. You know, the issues around wage bill I want to put on for a separate discussion because it gets a whole lot of issues. For example, one senior government officers in salary they pay maybe 10 or 15 nurse or teachers them. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at the Auditor General's report and you're looking at staffing, and if we take an example of the health sector within the audit report, you find out say there are still a challenge. As a matter of fact, ActionAid we do a report on wage bill. We still don't tell you say, in fact, if you look at the 2020, if you look at the census report, we have close to 30 or 40% of teachers that within the field when they on government payroll, where they teach in our government school STEM. The same thing happened at the health sector. Of course, the teacher, I mean the nurse patient ratios, not to good thing for you right now. Of course, talk less of the doctor patient ratios. So all these now issues and what they affect service delivery. Like for example, then 84 qualified and experienced staff there within our hospital, then they not get salary, they not get stipend. What if you see them within at the hospital? Then we definitely go request some money then from the sick people there. And what then they go affect service delivery. They affect the operation of the hospital. So for me, government for take this audit report in a good faith and get Parliament get a role for the midterm in time to address the issues then. For example, the issues of expired drugs, not to say they don't start. Over the years, would they spend huge money for buying medicine, They may say they store, then they expire. Now the people the money nine they lost. We for them go to other sectors then. The issues around equipment don't become so prevalent now. And based on the audit report, almost all of the hospitals then lack basic equipment and drugs them for letting carry them function. And when that happen, the overall effect that is sick purpose with the another hospital, now they suffer. And in some instances them, the nurse can be very difficult to say, we'll not get this. Hereby creating additional burden on the patient in as much as there are challenges. So for we want the government, parliament, all stakeholders them take the report in good faith, look at the recommendations them. One good thing about the audit report, you not only look at loss in cash or all that, it's also good for let them strengthen the systems and processes. So it provide an evidence for the government take action for strengthening the system and processes them, or now for address certain issues them. Some issues are not money issues them. Now about administrative procedure, how for do how not for do So it's about ensuring that the system always continue for improve. And one good thing again about the audit report, it's not just about how these issues happen. They provide recommendations for remedy the solutions. And there are, to me, what I read this report, I don't read them from page 1 to the last page 2 times. There are issues then there where it really is so painful when you read them on how the issues they affect ordinary citizens. How government officials then in some points they do things in the way contrary to the law. And quite recently, I'm glad for one statement where the new NPP boss talked about focusing again, pay more attention now on even on the contract management. In as much as it's good for look at who they award the contract, but for example, how they manage the contracts. I can give you an example. Yeah, the Minister of Transport, they pay for Mutuka, they don't pay that percent on Mutuka. The time for them carry the Mutuka, they don't pass long. What does that mean? It creates a whole hype about that. Number one, what will happen when they don't pay part of the money? It don't pass over 1 year, they don't count the vehicles them. But number two, it tell you say there is no proper monitoring and accountability aspect or follow-up aspects. And that's why there is a need for strengthening the internal audit departments them for letting they regularly check on the issues that are so and bring and come on board to the management. And we'll see, for example, one good example where the internal auditor of Minister of Finance do, where they unhack some alleged irregularities where currently they investigate. So the whole issue therefore centered around Parliament taking it through, government taking it through, the internal auditor, then giving the space, the resources and authority for let them do the work for ensure they safeguard the people's resources.
However, earlier you say the Anti-Corruption Commission not for wait where this audit report come on, then for go ahead and do some of the investigations them. But several times we don't hear who side the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Sengepo Thomas, they make and categorically clear in a Parliament say, let the Anti-Corruption Commission stay off the reports until then a Parliament don't do their own sittings and make their recommendation them before the Anti-Corruption Commission for begin their work. And where they make this statement, it quotes the relevant section of the law them. So if the Deputy Speaker, when at the chair of the PAC, don't tell the ACC say we not put on by this report, we not get the rights, we not get the power yet, how do you expect the ACC for begin investigations?
The ACC get a mandate for looking into corruption issues, and I don't know why this come up. There was already an MOU signed before, except the one again on that MOU. We say if they are, and with that, it's very Parliament again. That last Parliament, we say if there are issues around corruptions, we don't suspect see they into the general reports. Therefore, go ahead and look at the issues them. And we don't see, to me, I see a double standard. If they continue at that particular trend day, we don't see the COVID reports. Where them in the debate time, we get videos because we record the whole session. Wherein the Deputy Speakers on issues where audit service, ACC they look into. They say these issues, ACC is all they look at. Law we just share out. And for we think say as long as the ACC get the evidence, say some of the issues also get corruption related issues, they need for go ahead and look into the issues, because the past parliament don't fail win on how they address the audit issues. And if we don't see this year the time for bringing discussion forward, we might not know how long the process might take. We might not know whether they will produce report on the report. So for we, as long as they get evidence that these issues, even though the number of issues again where ACC can look into, but then at their mandate or what they're waiting and feel, they're small compared to the thing that we didn't have the report. But if we say they need for go ahead and look into the issues, then we'll get for corruption relation issues then.
So at this time, what need for be done, because most of the issues they are making come out inside the audit reports, be it the cash loss, be it the service delivery angle, the recommendations and where the auditor general can don't make done. Nothing can happen at the end of the day, and people they become tired of every year reports come out 2-3 weeks, media flag them, and we move on. What need for be done at this time for ensure say not only ban making recommendation, not only audit service making recommendations, but also people take up responsibility for implement?
No, firstly, the Ministry of Finance don't develop what they call standard operating procedure. We basically now a procedure where they look into how them for implement the recommendations then. And we also see in the review local government act, they now incorporate a whole section around audit. We don't clearly state what local council is supposed to do when they table the reports, the timeline for produce a report, and we go for the monitor that particular process today, taking on board this report where they don't table in the parliament. So number one, government for enforce the implementation of the standard operating procedure. We have a very good document where they clearly show with timeline how them for implement the recommendations then. Number two, Parliament get for take the report serious, get an open, fair hearings, produce actionable recommendations then, and of course those recommendations we are with them for need for follow up and implement the recommendation there. Right. But above all, it's about fairness in the whole process, ensuring that each and every individual we involved then treat them the same way as per how the law says, so that it will help for build citizens and confidence. Mind you, the open budget survey also states the weakness of Parliament on how did they create, how did they provide oversight on the public resources. So it's not a news that audit accountability at the legislative stage of Parliament is really weak, and the need for up the game for ensure so we get a very strong accountability mechanism for all the one who are responsible accountable.
All right, continue for the program. A name na Abubakar Kamara, sorry, I beg your pardon, in the National Coordinator for BAN, Budget Advocacy Network, a network of various civil society organizations them where they work around issues of budget, transparency and accountability, and safe public financial management. This morning at the program, we look inside the 2022 audit reports. Inside they allege say over 300 billion loans lost from different ministry, departments, and agencies. Them and safe been look inside the health sector, which shows say most of the referral hospital them they not get the equipment so they're supposed to get, so that they go able to do them proper one. We get another studio, and also we get a journalist and a social commentator, Thomas Dixon. They all today with you at the studio this morning for help we look at the issues them we come out inside the public we come inside the 2022 audit report. Well, as all term, Liberty Online TV can for the opportunity to the ordinary citizen themselves where they out there, so that themselves go add them voice now the different topic them we can look at every day. Well, for this topic, outside they allege say over 300 billion lost from different ministry, departments, and agency them. Liberty Online TV give opportunity to the ordinary citizen them, let themselves add them voice, waiting and think, but some of them evaluation there, so we come out from the 2022 audit report. We reporter Al Hassan Kuroma gets more, and he go now report.
Audit Service Salon na supreme audit institution na the country where dem work by law na for ensure say public money go be used fine one, and also na institution where they promote accountability and transparency na the public sector, and also independent audit of government, ministry, departments and agencies. Inside the 2022 report, over 320 billion loans been lost from different MDAs them. Well, for sake of this, Liberty Online TV been talk to citizens them about waiting them feel, but the couple we lost.
Well, this is sad news, I might be saying. Waiting me think about some of the things that are where they go on. One, we get misappropriation of fund. Then we have misallocation. And I don't know which of these involved into the institution they are. Then secondly, now due to the appointment and where certain offices that they give, that they advert a job where it's supposed for let it be allocated to certain people. But due to the inferences that where some people can take, which is corruption, it can call in, sometimes people call it conflict of interest. And they call somebody when a young person, they put them into the space where it's not supposed for there, which he don't know even how to do this office, office job. So at the end of the day, some of these things can cause some of these factors. And again, I go want let government take a drastic step against the people there, whether they do that thing there, because they hinder the progress of the country. As now we have economic stability in the country, where even things for it, it's hard to get for certain people. And what maybe one let the government do, let them do a thorough investigation. Whosoever where they found one thing, let the person pay back his fund. And in fact, if he even have an asset, let it a possibility, let the country take the asset there from him.
Well, you see, in the first place, we got to think about Sierra Leone. If audit report don't come out, whosoever will tamper with salon money, whether it be APC or it be SLPP or it be Mende or it be Team, whosoever tamper with salon money, I mean, the law for deal with them. Okay. You understand? Because now salon, if we go other country, we see other country fine, they live well. Now because of they manage the economy, people are honest with the economy, they work with the government. Now that, but the thing, the problem we get at this country would also become partisan. That if one government they may take somebody for car work, so then from the other side, we can they can begin with the work against the interest of that government. There's some person it inside the government back because of what the president you don't say. They look and say, hey, but this by now for no chap, you are lost for you. And if you fight, you're not going to fight corruption, they is self-corrupt. You understand? Yeah. So let the law take in course. Let it not be biased. Like when they call about param, so say tamper with where they go take salary. I mean, I don't know. You don't see waiting up in week COI now. You understand? Don't investigate people. How they tap out people their money, and up to now people have all their money than they. The president they suffer so hard for rule this country. You know, people in the car and down because a lot of things they want for do, you're not able for do them. Then you they go do that kind of thing and they where people and they will know they work safe. You they go take you where for they go take what's and they pay you do when they will live within that income day. Even you have not they go take salary safe. Then you turn people say the law for taking cause.
First of all, me this nothing this way it's shocking. Why make I say it's shocking? Because the way the situation out there right now and the way the country they run at. This is a big loss to we the Sierra Leoneans because nobody know the way they expecting kind here. Okay. Me they expect you know they expect others they expect them. But what's in that the steps that one leg government take presently now like how don't get a reporter. The people that will find guilty therefore put some there. I can talk in Creole. Therefore one after they apprehend them for letting them go get waiting presently then at the people they earn. Okay. When they go to retrieve some and the balance, then they make an agreement when they go to pay because all know they at loss. Let's alone they are always money they lost. We move ahead now. Other countries and they move ahead. Don't forget about all other things. This one is shocking you so let us apprehend the people and go to get some money so the government go to run smoothly. How would they talk to the government? And me advice to the government because then time they happen not to the enforce. I think no they happen. But steps and the way government for take. Because if I be government of the day and a government of the day and are for the people. So let's do the right thing, let the right thing be done. Let justice take place. because they're the most empowerment thing and we all they look forward to them. Because me and my own concern and but government gets a lot for do. And then service here, then one day we concern, we say the money there, come on, we concern. Let them apprehend them.
With all then concern here from the public, means the government and the Anti-Corruption Commission for team up Tranga one for fight against corruption na salon. For Liberty Online TV, Al-Hassan Kouma, the report.
Alright, welcome back. You still watch the breakfast show na Liberty Online TV, and that's a report where Al-Hassan Koromadu as he go talk to citizens them regarding their own response. Let them think about the 2022 audit reports where they now na Parliament. They come over to we studio guest them, and then they come over to Thomas Dixon, when a social commentator and also a journalist. We don't hear with him the people, ordinary Sierra Leoneans, and say regarding this audit report. And as we don't discuss at the program this morning, and as we always don't do, it seems like the seriousness will be placed upon the fight against corruption, especially when it comes to the auditor general in reports we can come out the missing funds and we can the failure for the service delivery by different ministry departments and agencies. Them now one way they become tiring for the viewers them and the nation at large, because every year you go see a similar thing inside these reports, but for let action be taken. Now one thing we don't get big challenge, waiting it for be done at this time from all angles. We don't look at Parliament, the ACC, the one the way they work at the ministry departments and agencies them and all. Waiting it for be done at this time for let we see at least a change for this 2023 where the reports will come on. Let we see say action be taken.
I think first of all we need to take Auditor General's report serious. Any nation want for progress in terms of accountability. The first institution we take serious now the Auditor General report. We see first of all the former let's say the substantive suspended Auditor General in matter. I think it's been going on for a very long time, and I think say as a state we need for try first of all for settle that matter and if come out with a clear picture of what in they happen, because citizens don't know what in they happen. And also we don't need for fights, institutions only for fight over Auditor General's report. They can work on them from different angles. The ACC can work on them, at the same time Parliament can work on them. The ACC get a responsibility for fight corruption, devoid of who side and gets the information from. They can get the information from newspaper, they can get the information and tip from the Auditor General report and decide for begin for investigate. Parliament get the responsibility for looking to Auditor General's report, create a level playing field, do an open hearing into issues of the Auditor General report, and at the end of the day make recommendation and send them to the Attorney General's office. But we don't see hearing how the last Parliament not able to do that. In fact, we don't even see this Parliament don't start for say them for look into them. We hope say then go look it up, because I think say people are now they use the media for give out their opinion. Say look, they not get on to me. Auditor General not get on to me. If they may get on to me, I don't provide them this information or that information, they will get that opportunity in a Parliament for present them documented when they get of work being done. So for me, I think as a nation, if we want for fight corruption, we get to be serious about Auditor General's report, and not just about apprehending people for go arrest people or charge people. We get to look at recommendations that have been made. Some of these recommendations, if we implement them, we will get the good of public financing.
But recommendation they really they work now, salon, because if you take for example the Maritime Administration, for example, we all know say they don't change boss the end that say they recommend it the ACC or the audit report, but still when you see this report come out, the name still lady of the same issues.
I think the Maritime Administration not become a den of corruption. Yanda you na so corruption they, but we not for tire. for come up with system. The ACC, I think, said they don't do systems review, they don't charge to court, they lost the matter. There are many things we not for tire because now a revenue generating institution. And when a revenue generating institution, we therefore be careful with them. Not just the maritime administration. There are other institutions where the report mentioned NACIT. The report mentioned NACIT. These are people's money at NACIT. People they add money in NACIT. Some man after some years we don't reside, they expect say go getting benefits from NACIT. You look at NACIT investments as highlighted in the Auditor General's report, the Golden Tulip Hotel. That hotel has been abandoned for years in the name of renovation. We don't know what in the happen. That's now an opportunity for NACIT to make profit, and at the end of the year, me and you will subscribe to NACIT to be able to get your money back. But as it is now, there are a whole lot of issues, a whole lot of investment highlighted from NACIT on NACIT by the Auditor General's report. We therefore deal with the future of workman and the workforce. Because as long as you work, you pay you 15% to NACIT, hoping that by the end of the day when you go left work, you go able for the get you small thing from NACIT. But if NACIT they invest wrongly, then there is a problem. Forget about NACIT. You see institutions say now. One thing where the Auditor General has mentioned, for example, na maritime, na NATCOM. Now where institution and say that they go do corporate social responsibility. You ask yourself, what in government to do corporate social responsibility? It's not the business of government for do public, because government they render public service. Already they render public service. And some of the institutions, for example, NATCOM, the Auditor General say over 3 billion news. They use them. They say they use them for corporate social responsibility. There is no evidence of it.
Dixon, some of the issues they already talk about this morning. Me and you know say not a new thing there. For example, institution like NACIT, so don't hear about the misplaced priorities in terms of investment. Then get property they're supposed to make money for them, but just because carelessness they make them property. Then if you go watch and now safe, you know go even want for the inside it. Every year we audit reports come out, then same issues there, so they happen. Nobody know they take responsibility. Nobody know they take actions for punish some of them people there, so then go found guilty. Is it that salon now we don't legally accept corruption and wrong management?
It's a form. It's like we are going to that point wherein we don't they accept say, because I think the Ministry of Finance forget a way who side and they able for tackle people that will not implement audit recommendation. That's self-name. But if they get a way, we then go able for old people and say, okay, if you not implement ABC and the way Auditor General say, we will give you money. I'm sure people go begin for implement recommendations.
You know, Dixon, I not cut the word. This is where I talk about the aspect of implementing the standard operating procedure.
Yes.
In the Audit Service Act, they go and call subcharge. That is, by your action or on inaction, if you cause the state loss of resources, Auditor General also get a mandate for right to the Accountant General for withhold your salary. But again, if I go do things when I 10 billion, my salary na 2,000 euros, where that 10 million will be like 15 years salary, I might say, well, let them hold my salary no more. This one I don't get kuku jumuku, so let it do. So for we as BAN, it's about number one, following the law. For now, they don't understand our operating procedure. Now, one, but also look at this. ACC for look at the system and processes. Even though ACC don't look at the number of ministries and agencies and system and processes, we still experience some whole lot of loopholes there, where they cause the state loss of resources. So it's a whole 360 aspect in terms of how we hold them people to account. And one key thing where even Minister of Finance on doing reports is about how do we empower the internal auditors them. In most of the ministries them, the internal auditor then they need to be part of the management team. They need to even provide them the resources where they required for let them able to carry out their internal audit function. Because if they really function and they work well, they be able to identify things that at the early stage we will help for prevent the state loss of resources. So getting the document or the procedure on how to implement the recommendation is one, but implementing it and ensuring that they do them in a fair and a transparent manner, and we will see as part of that document, the Minister of Finance will promise say they go for the police a report regularly on how they implement the standard operating procedure, and we hope say we will see a report on how far they don't go in holding those people accountable who are responsible for loss of state of resources or service delivery.
As a nation, waiting we don't they miss repeatedly, we make this they continue, because even the Ministry of Finance where they disburse, their self-name can they say the audit report say losses they happen there. So if you where they disburse the money, you self-name for manage them, then there is an issue.
You know, the political leadership is one. When the leader sincere, not just in paper or policy, but act on it, is one key aspect for push accountability forward. You know, a nation progress is really identified by the level of accountability. If we have accountability at all levels, irrespective of the status or whatever of the individual we involve, it will help. So one, the political will, the political leadership is key in pushing accountability forward. Secondly, for ensuring that the system and processes then work independently without interference. Because if you get a system and then you get people of high place, they interfere on the system process and they shut that one person, they follow the rule, another person they follow the rule, it creates a whole lot of problem in the accountability landscape. The other one is how sincere are we in terms of holding people responsible accountable? Because the reason why they say this, when they see same issue happen, this one get this treatment, that one get another treatment, and of course Parliament get a whole role in all of this process, including the media and civil society. And as this is will continue for bring the issues they are so as they come on board.
Let's bring in Thomas Dixon. You listen to Abubakar, waiting he just don't state. One, political leadership lacking, the seriousness for all people accountable, where they can find one thing in issues of alleged corruption. That brings me to the question we get for do it. If the political will not there for fight corruption, we don't see also a previous audit report point out corruption na the presidency, under the presidency foot, issues of double dipping. They're not able to provide receipts for certain things, then forge receipts of overseas travel outside and go lay down a hotel. Immediately all this revelation come out, suicide and suspend the auditor general. Where up till now the investigation salon people don't know how far or the way forward. If all this they happen, how serious is the government for tackle issues of corruption?
I think the issue of political will in the fight against corruption is very important, or in enhancing accountability, very important. You mentioned the office of the president. It's not just that the last audit, even this audit mentioned issues with the office of the president. We are in then say the former head of the presidential infrastructure, Dr. Tambi, should account for over $20-something million. Where na money where them pull na the Lunge Bridge feasibility account. They say there is no evidence, no show for say work done. Then you get issue of retirement, because you talk about traveling, like the last audit, you get issues of retirement where in people they fail for retire some amount of money with them for retire where they don't travel long. And I think say again people have the habit of defending. Yes, you can defend, but defend with an evidence. Like for example, the issue with the last audit may take about the office of the first lady. Instead of the anti-corruption commission investigate the issue at hand, we suicide and go back 4, 5, or let's say 2, 3 decades, and say then they go investigate back instead of looking at the issue at hand. So if you don't fight corruption backward, you fight corruption progressively. If you say now you want to fight corruption backward, because until you happen, you get to go look behind it, don't happen today. No, you don't run a country like that. If you get the opportunity for put a stop to them now. And also about the issue of implementation, as you rightly say, you get to forget staff them, people we see say for example we other audit, like the last audit we came, the Ministry of Finance talk about them, come out with a whole lot of the recommendation and talk say they will provide supervision for see the recommendation they implemented. I also think say the issue of internal audit is also very important. They should not just be mere internal auditors or middle managers. They should be part of management. They should also therefore be embedded in the whole procurement processes, because they go able to provide advice that, look, if we use this method, auditors are going to pick it up. Look, if we pay this amount of money, if you look at, for example, the maritime, they pay for cars from AA Enterprise. They pay for their card, and the quotation we then get from NPPA, not so in their use. They use different thing. The pricing for those cars under NPPA, not so in their use. Even though the auditor general tell us, look, this is not the thing that we una for do. Una for go according to the NPPA price norm. They're not good. They're not doing. So if you get an internal auditor with a part of management, he able at that point for say, no, the price norm according to NPPA na so. Let us follow it, or we'll stop the contract or look for another company.
All right, continue for the program, Dixon. We dey now look at few of una messages them we una don send na the program this morning. The first one they take na Facebook. It come out from Samuel Nangule Sise. It is say, Mabel, the reason for the lack of seriousness on the part of Parliament in particular and the ACC on the perpetual mismanagement and endemic corruption highlighted by the Auditor General's report is all due to protecting party stalwarts and cronies in the name of he or she is our own.
And still on Facebook, for the Mustafa Toure, they say corruption is endemic. The fighting it requires that political lens be taken off. The Parliament will continue to protect its party members by claiming ownership and doing nothing to bring anyone to book. Parties are more important to them than the country, so this will continue to happen until the constitution is amended.
Bakar Banks na Facebook, it is say, has Parliament debated the previous audit report since 2019? If so, what was the outcome, and if not, why not?
And another one again from Bakar, it says, according to previous audit reports, this government has lost more money than all the previous governments combined since the inception of audit service. With such numbers, how serious is government in fighting corruption when they are protecting connected thieves in the administration? Case in point is say that the investigation that was conducted within 2 hours by the ACC boss himself.
All right, continue for send we your message na any of the comment section them through the platform we the watch we. The breakfast show they continue, and today we they look at the 2022 audit report. We don't talk about several misappropriation issues them and alleged missing funds where the audit report say be missing na various ministry departments and agency them the same way then they do the audit. They not be able to get supporting document for show some of them in there. So when they come back to studio guest them, we get Abubakar Kamara, when a national coordinator from the Budget Advocacy Network, and also Thomas Dixon, a journalist and social commentator, where they talk on different issues them we get for those governance, corruption, and safe misappropriation. When they come back to you, Mr. Kamara, lot of revelation in the out there where any citizen we go want for see institution like the ACC, the Public Accounts Committee, take drastic action against people them when they can point finger up and say mix pan corruption or institution them. Go and say this not enough evidence. But after all, we will just see few weeks when they report their come out. We not the media run with them. When I say civil society come out, point out the irregularity them, but now they die down.
You know, this boil down to the fact that proper action has not been taken, and what I mean proper action, it cuts across the board. You know, one of the callers just asked one question from 2019. From 2019, 2021, the Parliament not pull a report on the Auditor General's report. Where they tell we say also now one of the factors then why the same thing they continue to happen. And we don't see from 2018 to date the loss in cash based on the Auditor General report. It don't go up every year. they go up. And this don't tell we say, again, much actions are not been taken in terms of hold the one who is responsible for account. And the result of all of this, the citizens now they suffer. So for we, it's about how do we, as a government, look at the whole audit accountability architecture and ensure, say, number one, as me and Dixie mentioned earlier, the political leadership to enforce those issues for the day. Number two, the one that we're responsible, then be held accountable as per the laws of Sierra Leone. And most importantly, how do we ensure that the issues around service deliveries in the report is being addressed? Like this year, then do a detail around various hospitals, them appalling what they read from hospital to hospital, almost the same pattern. And that they affect the ordinary citizen who to go access service delivery. So it's about seriousness in the process, sincerity, following the laws and procedure, and above all, the institution supposed for take action, then supposed for take actions on the issues there as well.
All right, we come back to you, Thomas Dixon. Issues them where year in, year out, the Auditor General reports, they point out, one go and say, now enough evidence for let this government use for take action against people them, irrespective of your political party or you favor we get from top position, but for sure say we na a government we ready for fight corruption, a president we declare war on corruption, but under in tenure from 2018 to now, lots of corruption allegation then they all over the place. You think say it's time for the president's bureau use some of the evidence there and prove say it really serious for fight corruption?
Well, I don't think saying that the president get for use there. There are institutions who are responsible. Those institutions should be independent. Like for example, the ACC. The ACC should not be allowed, not for allow themselves to be politicized. Despite our president appoint them, they therefore ensure say we don't in this country who side they investigated from a vice president anti-corruption. You all remember the Al Jazeera Timber documentary. The former vice president Sam Sumana was investigated by the ACC. So investigation should be carried on people that when they're very close to the presidency we involve pan corruption will not for free. It depends on the people, not the institution that we get for all them people there accountable. Come on, they go parliament. You can't say it is the responsibility of the president for make parliamentary account committee then discuss audit reports or corruption issues. It is parliament, the leadership of parliament should take it upon themselves that look, we have a parliamentary account committee that should look at audit reports, therefore look at them devoid of who that involved in. Because it's also an opportunity for let some people then go justify, say this fund we not actually misappropriate them. This is what these are the evidence. But we see outside those institutions were responsible, they don't neglect the rule. So one may not say it is the president, but people in those institutions or those institutions we don't fail we. Now them we for begin for talk about, let them begin for investigate and take corruption seriously. We no go like for example the ACC, you know go get an ACC we always they look at say no labo investigate former government official. That's not the case. When you have your own corruption happening now. So the ACC should look at things happening now, corrupt things happening now, investigate them. Not only the president for go tell the ACC commissioner, say, look, go investigate that issue. Then for look at the issue and they investigate them without being told.
Alright,
yes.
Thanks. So you came at the studio this morning. The rest of the conversation go there na the Liberty one-on-one. We go be 8 to 8:30 tonight. One for so many thanks to the studio guests. Them we been get Thomas Dixon, when a social commentator and also a journalist. Also we been get at the studio this morning the National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network, Ban, we na Abubakar Cameron. Thank you na at the studio this morning. Now this edition of the program Breakfast Show go lefuna. Many thanks to yourself for sending message and you will like and follow Liberty Online TV. Continue for share and follow Liberty Online TV as we go to bring on updates as and when we get them. Now this edition of the program go left na mina Mabel Kabade. So get yourself a wonderful week and goodbye.
Don't forget for always tuning to Liberty Breakfast Show. Forget you accurate information, but different in them where they happen. As you do tune in, make sure say you like and continue for share Liberty Online TV so that more people go day part of the Liberty family forget accurate and authentic information. Mina Khadija Bangura, they say have a good day.